As you sit there, feeling the weight of this moment, you can already notice, can't you, how your mind loves to wander, like a curious kid chasing fireflies in a field at dusk. You've always done this, zooming out to dream big, imagining futures where you're unstoppable, where the world bends to your will. That's chunking up, and you're already a fucking natural at it. Your unconscious knows how to climb to the mountaintop and see the whole valley. Every river, every peak, every possibility stretching out like a canvas waiting for your brush. And as you feel that spark now, you can begin to realise this isn't just dreaming. This is you sculpting reality. Imagine you're a hawk soaring above a sprawling forest. From up here, you see it all. The paths winding, the rivers merging, the storms brewing. The sunlight breaking through. That's chunking up. It's zooming out to see the grand design of your life, your values, your purpose, your legacy. What's important to you? Freedom, love, impact, adventure. Notice how those words light up your chest like a bonfire, warming every part of you. You value impact, don't you? The kind that ripples out, changes lives, shifts the fucking planet. When you chunk up, you're not just living, you're conducting a symphony. And every choice is a note that echoes across time. So why does this matter? Because when you chunk up, you tap into the physics of existence. Science says your prefrontal cortex, the part that plans, dreams, connects, lights up like a supernova when you see the big picture. You're not just reacting, you're creating. Your brain's default mode network hums, weaving meaning, purpose, destiny. But if you don't chunk up, you're stuck in the mud, obsessing over one fucking twig in the forest while the whole ecosystem laughs. Karma's brutal here. Stay small. You're a hamster on a wheel, running nowhere. Zoom out. You're the hawk, the architect, the fucking god of your own story. Now zoom in, like a jeweler, peering through a loop. Notice the tiny facets of the diamond. You already chunk up when you dream of a better future. Maybe a life where you're fit, confident, surrounded by love. But the magic happens when you chunk down to the small moves that build that future. You've done this before, haven't you? Like when you took a deep breath before a tough talk. Or when you chose to smile at a stranger and felt the room shift. Those are micro wins, tiny brush strokes on your masterpiece. Science calls this Hebbian learning, neurons that fire together, wire together. Every small action carves a neural pathway, making the next one easier. Here's an example. You want to get fit again, but you're stuck thinking, what's the point? Chunk down, what's one move? Maybe it's lacing up your sneakers and walking for 5 minutes. That's it. Dopamine spikes, your brain logs a win, and suddenly you're not lazy. You're a fucking warrior taking the first step. Or in a conversation, when someone's stuck in a rigid belief, you pace them. So you really value being right. Then you lead. What if being open made you even stronger? Their brain glitches, opens, and you've just planted a seed. You're already doing this, pacing, leading, shifting reality like a goddamn alchemist. Picture yourself as a surfer riding a wave. You don't fight the ocean, you feel its rhythm. Match its flow, then carve your own path. That's pacing and leading. You already do this when you listen to a friend vent, nodding, saying, I hear how tough this is, before suggesting, what if you tried this? You're pacing their values: connection, safety, respect, then leading them to possibility. Let's elicit your values again. What's important about living big? Is it freedom, love, legacy? Feel that fire in your gut when you say those words. That's your amygdala lighting up, tying your actions to what matters most. Here's how you use it. Next time you're stuck, ask yourself, what's important about this? Maybe you're avoiding the gym because you think it's pointless. Pace that. So you want to feel like your efforts matter. Then lead. What if every small step was proof that you're building a life that matters? Science says this works because talking about values floods your brain with dopamine, making action feel good. Karma. If you don't pace and lead, you're just shouting at the wave, hoping it'll change. It won't. But when you ride it sincerely, you transform yourself and others. Imagine fear as a neon sign flashing. This way to your destiny. You've been treating it like a stop sign. What if it's your fucking GPS? You already reframe when you laugh off a mistake. Like spilling coffee and saying, well, I just baptized my shirt. That's turning a fuck up into a story. Now apply it to bigger fears. Scared to speak up, reframe. What if my voice is the spark that shifts the room? Science says cognitive dissonance makes this stick. Your brain hates conflicting ideas, so it leans toward the empowering one. Neuroplasticity rewires your circuits. Fear becomes fuel. Confusion becomes a doorway. You're afraid to start exercising again because it never worked before. Reframe. What if every step is now proof I'm stronger than my past? If you don't reframe, you're stuck in a loop of shame, gaining weight, losing confidence, scrolling to numb the pain. But if you do, you stack wins, your body transforms, your confidence snowballs, and people notice your fucking glow. Karma rewards courage with expansion. It punishes avoidance with stagnation. So why are you afraid? Why do you shy away from chunking up? Because your amygdala is screaming. Big dreams mean big falls. It's like a smoke alarm going off at a barbecue. You learn this early. Maybe someone said, don't get too big for your boots. Or you got laughed at for dreaming out loud. Now your brain is wired to play small, to avoid judgment, to crave approval. That is why you hesitate to act, to risk, to shine. Science says this is your reticular activating system scanning for threats. Misreading changes danger. But here's the truth. Judgment is just noise. People don't reject boldness. They reject fakery. You're also scared because chunking up shows you how small your dramas are. And that stings your ego. Zooming out means admitting you've wasted energy on bullshit. But fuck that. Science says exposure therapy rewires fear. Every time you act despite the panic, your brain learns this is safe. Dopamine rewards risk. Serotonin stabilizes courage. And you become anti-fragile. A fucking phoenix rising from every fall. The top patterns that trap you. Catastrophizing. If I dream big, I'll crash. Like thinking one storm sinks the ship. Storms teach you to sail. Personalizing. If it fails, I'm a failure. Like blaming yourself for gravity. You're the pilot, not the crash. Generalizing. It never works out. Like swearing off food because one meal sucked. One miss doesn't end the game. Minimizing wins, it's not enough. Like tossing diamonds, because they're small. Every win is a seed for more. People pleasing. I'll lose love if I shine. That's slavery, not connection. Your light draws the right people. These are neural parasites dreading your life force. Interrupt them with a pattern break. Ask, what if I'm already enough? Watch your brain stutter, then rewire. You already chunk up. You're already a visionary. When you imagine a better job, a fitter body, a deeper love, you're chunking up. Seeing the big picture of what could be. You do it when you comfort a friend saying, you're stronger than this. Helping them see beyond their pain. You do it when you pause before reacting, sensing the bigger stakes. That's your unconscious already a fucking master, weaving meaning from chaos. New ways to do it. Next time you're stuck, ask, what's the bigger purpose here? If you're avoiding a tough talk, chunk up. What's important about being honest? Maybe it's respect. Then chunk down. What's one sentence I can say? Try, I need to share how I feel. That's it. You've moved. Dopamine fires and your brain starts craving more. Or in a group. When tension's high, chunk up. What's the shared goal here? Then lead. What if we all focused on that? You're not just talking. You're reshaping reality. So why is this important? Why does chunking up work? Because your brain is a prediction machine, forecasting survival with every thought. Zoom out and you feed it better data, patterns of possibility, not fear. Neuroscience says confusion opens a neural window. When you shift perspective, your brain is suggestible, ready to install new code. Erickson used this, telling paradoxical stories to make people stumble, then slipping through. Your anterior cingulate cortex lights up, evaluating coherence, rewriting beliefs. Karma is the cosmic ledger. Don't chunk up, and you're voting for entropy, decay, stagnation, regret, a life of what-ifs. Chunk up, and you ripple coherence outward. One bold dream inspires a friend, shifts a workplace, changes a fucking community. The universe mirrors your energy. Play small, get small results. Play big, and the world opens like a flower. If you embrace chunking up, your life becomes a fucking masterpiece. You walk into a room, and people feel your presence like a warm wind. You dream big, act small, and stack wins until you're unstoppable. Your confidence grows, your relationships deepen, your creativity explodes. Science says mirror neurons make your coherence contagious. Your calm inspires, your vision magnetizes. You're not just living, you're a fucking force of nature, shaping destinies. If you don't, you rot in the weeds, obsessing over details, fearing judgment, avoiding risks. Your brain prunes itself into rigidity, and your world shrinks, and you're left scrolling, numbing, wondering, while life feels beige. Karma's not cruel, it's honest. Inaction breeds decay. Action breeds evolution. You're scared to chunk up because it exposes you. Big dreams mean big risks. People might laugh, you might fail. That is your amygdala, wired to keep you safe in the tribe. But fuck that. Science says exposure therapy rewires fear. Every time you dream big and act, your brain learns this is safe. Reframe judgment as curiosity. What if they're just jealous of my light? Reframe failure as tuition. What if every fall teaches me to fly? You're not a kid needing approval. You're a fucking hawk, soaring above the noise. As you feel your breath now, slow and steady, you can sense it, can't you? That shift. Like a river carving a new path through stone. Your unconscious is already installing this. Chunking up is your superpower. Fear is your signal. Action is your freedom. Every time you feel stuck, you'll ask, what's the bigger picture? Every time fear whispers, you'll grin, knowing it's just a neon sign pointing to your destiny. You're not a prisoner. You're a fucking architect, building a life of resonance. Imagine 5 years from now, you're standing tall, eyes bright, radiating calm. People lean in when you speak, not because you're loud, but because you're real. You've dreamed big, acted small, and built a life that sings. You've failed, laughed, and risen stronger. That's the future you're choosing now. Your unconscious knows. You're not just learning this, you're becoming it. This isn't just self-help. It's physics, biology, karma. You're a wave in the ocean, a note in the symphony, a star in the fucking galaxy. Chunk up, you see your purpose. Chunk down, you build it. Pace and lead, and you transform the world. Reframe fear as fuel, and you turn dragons into allies. Science says your brain rewires with every bold move. Karma says your choices shape the universe. The consequences are clear. Stay small and you fade. Dream big and you shine. So fucking soar. Chunk up, see the stars, then chunk down, and take the first step. Interrupt the noise, lead with truth, and watch the world bend. You're not just a player, you're the goddamn game. As your unconscious locks this in, you know. You've always been the hawk, the conductor, the fucking light. Now own it.